Ladies and gentlemen, the mind is the battlefield, where victory is first claimed or forever lost. To develop unstoppable mental toughness, you must first anchor yourself with a definite purpose. You must know with burning clarity exactly what you want. Without a clear aim, your energy scatters, your spirit weakens, and your destiny slips into the hands of circumstance. Purpose sharpens you. Purpose fuels you. Purpose turns common men into conquerors. Self-discipline is the next weapon in your arsenal. Without it, you are a prisoner to your own weaknesses. The man who cannot command himself will never command anything worthwhile in life. Control your words, control your thoughts, control your actions. When you stand firm against your own emotions, no external enemy can defeat you. Discipline is not a punishment, it is the key to freedom. Persistence is the battering ram you must wield. Life will test you. Life will break you if you allow it. When you are knocked down, rise again and again and again. Every champion has felt the weight of defeat pressing down on his shoulders. But he who persists beyond exhaustion, beyond doubt, beyond ridicule, is the man who claims the crown. Quitting is never an option. You fight until you win. Faith is your invisible armor. Without unshakable belief in yourself, your talents rust and your dreams rot. You must believe when no one else believes. You must see the victory in your mind before it is ever seen with your eyes. Faith transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Faith fuels the fire when the world turns cold. Without it, you are already defeated. The power of decision must be seized. Weakness hides in hesitation. Strength breathes in decisive action. Choose your path swiftly and surely. Commit with every fiber of your being. Once the decision is made, let no whisper of doubt turn you aside. Indecision is death. Decision is life. Fear and doubt are parasites that feed on greatness. Evict them from your mind. With ruthless aggression, fear lies. Doubt deceives. They are not worthy of your attention. The mind ruled by fear is a slave mind. But the mind ruled by courage can bend the world to its will. Stand firm against the whispers of defeat. Move forward with the courage of a lion. Finally, condition your mind daily. Mental toughness is not a gift. It is forged through relentless practice. As a warrior sharpens his sword each morning, sharpen your mind. Read powerful words. Speak powerful thoughts. Act with powerful intent. If you feed your mind strength every day, weakness will find no home within you. Each day, carve your will deeper into your soul. You are called to be strong. You are destined to be victorious. You are built to endure, to conquer, to rise. Develop your mental toughness as if your life depends on it, because it does. Without a definite purpose, you are a ship lost at sea, drifting aimlessly with no harbor in sight. Definite purpose is the birthplace of all greatness. It is the foundation of mental toughness. It is the unbreakable core that all strength radiates from. A mind without a clear purpose is a mind easily broken, easily distracted, easily crushed by the storms of life. But a mind anchored to a definite purpose becomes immovable. It stands tall against winds, against tides, against anything the world can throw at it. The man who knows exactly what he wants and why he must have it is already halfway to victory. Purpose sharpens the senses, fuels the spirit, and hardens the will. It pushes you forward when your body begs to quit. It drives you through the nights when everyone else sleeps. When you live by purpose, you do not wait for permission, you do not seek approval, and you do not flinch in the face of obstacles. Purpose gives you vision. Purpose gives you power. Purpose gives you a reason to wake up swinging every day. Self-discipline follows naturally from purpose. It is the inner fire that keeps you on the battlefield long after weaker souls have fled. A man with discipline is a man who has learned the greatest art of all, the mastery of self. You must command yourself. You must stand guard at the gates of your mind and allow no weakness to enter. When your emotions roar, you must respond with control. When laziness whispers, you must answer with action. When comfort tempts you, you must reply with courage. Discipline is not forged in moments of ease. It is born in moments when quitting looks so easy, yet you choose to endure. It is crafted when you resist the lure of distraction and focus all your might on the mission at hand. The world bows to the man who bows to no excuses. Persistence is the iron hammer that smashes down all walls standing between you and your destiny. No man has ever tasted true victory without tasting bitter defeat first. The world will hit you. It will bruise you. It will batter your soul and laugh at your dreams. But the man who gets back up every single time cannot be defeated. Persistence means moving forward when your legs feel broken. It means believing when your mind screams doubt. It means taking another step, and another, until the obstacle surrenders out of sheer exhaustion. Success is not reserved for the most talented. It is reserved for the most relentless. Faith is the unseen force that builds bridges where others see chasms. It is the engine that roars within when the outside world falls silent. Without faith, you are at the mercy of the opinions of cowards. With faith, you become a force too powerful to be denied. Faith is not hope. Faith is certainty. It is standing in front of the mountain and knowing, not guessing, that you will move it. It is looking in the mirror and seeing a champion staring back, even when your surroundings tell a different story. Faith fuels risk. Faith births action. Faith is the soil in which unstoppable mental toughness grows. The power of decision is the sword you must learn to wield with precision and speed. A man who cannot decide swiftly is a man doomed to live a life dictated by others. Every great achievement begins with one powerful decision made without hesitation and held without apology. Weakness festers in delay. Doubt multiplies in the absence of decision. Decide who you are, decide what you want, decide how you will achieve it. Then burn the ships behind you. Give yourself no choice but to march forward. Indecision kills dreams. Decision breathes life into them. Fear and doubt are parasites that must be slaughtered without mercy. Fear robs you of action. Doubt strips you of power. They exist only to paralyze you, to cage you in mediocrity. Understand that fear is a liar. Doubt is a thief. They create illusions of defeat where none exist. When fear whispers you are not enough, shout back with the voice of purpose and persistence. When doubt creeps in to steal your faith, crush it beneath the boot of belief. Mental toughness is not the absence of fear, it is mastery over fear. It is standing tall while the weak kneel. It is charging forward when your heart pounds and your palms sweat. It is moving through the fire and daring the flames to stop you. Daily conditioning is the relentless sharpening of your mind into a weapon of pure power. The mind is like a sword. Left unsharpened, it dulls and rusts. Left unattended, it becomes fragile and weak. Every day you must feed your mind with strength, with clarity, with victory. Read words that ignite your spirit. Speak words that forge your character. Surround yourself with forces that fuel your fire. Train your thoughts to align with your vision. No wasted moments. No poisoned conversations. No surrender to weakness. Each morning, recommit to your purpose. Each night, strengthen your discipline. The mind hardened daily against doubt, against fear, against compromise becomes an unstoppable force. You were not born to cower. You were born to conquer. The fire you seek is already within you, waiting to be unleashed through purpose, through discipline, through unrelenting persistence. Build yourself into the kind of warrior who is unmoved by storms, unshaken by failure, untouched by fear. Become the master of your fate by first becoming the master of your mind. Without mastery of self-discipline, all talent, all ambition, all dreams collapse under the weight of weakness. Self-discipline is the steel spine that separates the conqueror from the conquered. It is the invisible hand that forces you forward when comfort and fear try to pull you back. Without it, you are nothing more than a slave to your impulses, a puppet controlled by fleeting emotions, a prisoner in a cage you built with your own laziness. Discipline is not a suggestion. It is the law. It is the line between the life you want and the life you settle for. If you cannot command yourself to act when you do not feel like it, to move when every fiber of your body screams to stop, you will never claim greatness. True discipline means doing what must be done, exactly when it must be done, whether you want to or not, and doing it with full force, without complaint, without hesitation, without excuse. Mastery of self-discipline is forged in the unseen moments. It is created in the silent decisions no one applauds, no one witnesses, but that shape everything you are becoming. It is in the early mornings when the bed whispers to you to stay. It is in the lonely nights when distraction offers an easy escape. It is in the endless repetition of small choices that, stacked one upon another, build an unbreakable fortress of character. Discipline is the decision to say no to weakness 1,000 times a day. It is the fire that tempers your soul until you become immune to excuses, allergic to mediocrity, obsessed with progress. You will either learn to control yourself or spend your life being controlled by regret. There is no other outcome. There is no middle ground. You must understand that discipline is not born from emotion. It is not tied to how you feel. Feelings are a trap. Feelings are liars. Feelings beg for ease, for pleasure, for relief. But discipline demands pain, demands sweat, demands sacrifice. Feelings whisper that you have done enough. Discipline roars that you have just begun. If you live by feelings, you will crumble under pressure. If you live by discipline, you will rise no matter the pressure. The man who disciplines himself when the crowd wavers, when the world hesitates, becomes unstoppable because he has built himself on foundations that do not shift with the winds of emotion. Self-discipline is self-respect in action. It is proof that you value your future more than your fleeting comfort. Every time you resist temptation, you carve another scar of strength into your mind. Every time you conquer laziness, you forge another link in the chain of victory. Every time you do what is necessary instead of what is easy, you remind yourself that you are the master, not the servant. The undisciplined man lives like a leaf tossed by the winds, wherever the mood of the moment carries him. The disciplined man moves like a force of nature, driven by a mission, unstoppable by circumstances, immune to failure. Understand clearly that there will never be a perfect day to start. There will never be an ideal time to rise. Waiting for motivation is the creed of the coward. Motivation is a fleeting visitor. Discipline is a permanent resident. It is there when you are tired. It is there when you are uninspired. It is there when the dream looks so far away you can barely see it. You move anyway. You act anyway. You grind anyway, because you have decided once and for all that your destiny is not for sale to the highest bidder of comfort. Mastery of self-discipline means owning every second, every choice, every thought. It means being the general commanding your own army, the architect designing your own fortress, the warrior sharpening your own sword. You will not allow procrastination to steal another hour. You will not let excuses rob another opportunity. You will not permit weakness to gain even a foothold in your mind. Self-discipline is vigilance. It is the constant guarding of the gates against the enemy of mediocrity, against the assassins of apathy, against the poison of excuse. Greatness demands the highest form of discipline, the discipline to continue when you see no immediate reward, when applause is absent, when validation is silent. It demands the iron will to suffer now for a reward that may come months or years down the road. The small-minded look for shortcuts. The strong-willed stay the course. They understand that mastery does not come to those who occasionally show up with enthusiasm, but to those who show up every day with ruthless consistency, whether the world is watching or not. Each day you either build the chains that will bind you or the wings that will set you free. Every small act of discipline is a hammer strike against the prison of weakness. Every moment you choose strength over comfort is another mile toward the summit most never even glimpse. Discipline is the weapon few are willing to carry because it is heavy. It is relentless. It demands everything. But those who lift it become unstoppable. They do not wish for victory, they claim it. They do not hope for success, they forge it. They do not ask for strength, they become it. Persistence against all odds is the refusal to be broken, the unshakable decision to press forward even when the whole world shouts for you to quit. It is the fire that roars louder when the storms rage stronger. Persistence is the rare quality that separates those who merely wish from those who achieve. It is the mark of those who do not fold when faced with setbacks, who do not retreat when met with resistance, who do not break when life swings with full force. A man with persistence does not ask if the road will be easy. He does not demand guarantees. He does not measure his dreams against the odds. He advances because he has decided that nothing will stop him. Not pain, not fear, not failure, not time. Persistence is the decision to stand up one more time than you have been knocked down. It is the choice to move forward when your muscles scream, when your mind doubts, when your spirit feels crushed under the weight of disappointment. It is not a feeling. It is not a mood. It is a command you give yourself. Move forward. Rise again. Attack again. Every time you persist, you grow stronger, harder, smarter. Every failure that does not destroy you refines you. Every obstacle that does not break you strengthens you. Every defeat that does not discourage you fuels the next charge. The truth is, the universe will not hand you victory without demanding a price. That price is persistence. You will be tested. You will be pushed. You will be betrayed by comfort, abandoned by ease, battered by circumstances beyond your control. You will face long nights of doubt, endless days of grinding, walls so high and thick they seem impossible to scale. And still you must move forward. Still you must press your knuckles into the earth, grit your teeth, and rise to your feet one more time, because those who persist longer than the pain, longer than the fear, longer than the failure, are the ones who claim the crown at the end. Persistence is the secret weapon that average men refuse to wield. It demands endurance when energy runs dry. It demands faith when the path ahead is hidden in darkness. It demands courage when everything inside you screams for the safety of surrender. You must develop the ability to bleed without panicking, to fall without despairing, to be wounded without forfeiting the fight. Every champion you admire was once a warrior on his knees, beaten and bloodied, choosing between quitting and rising. The only reason you know their names is because they chose to rise. You cannot allow temporary defeat to become permanent surrender. Temporary defeat is part of the price of admission to greatness. It is a tool the universe uses to separate the unworthy from the relentless. Most people turn back at the first sign of difficulty. Most people abandon their dreams the moment resistance appears. But the few who persist through the storms carve their names into history. Understand now that you will fail. You will fall short. You will be laughed at, doubted, misunderstood, and attacked. Persist anyway. Persist until the same people who doubted you are forced to respect you. Persistence against all odds means you refuse to measure the difficulty of the road. You refuse to listen to the weaklings who say it cannot be done. You refuse to indulge in self-pity, to drown in despair, to accept defeat as final. You harden your spirit until quitting is not even an option. You condition your mind to love the struggle, to welcome the fight, to see obstacles as the training ground for the conqueror you are becoming. Every hard day strengthens your spirit. Every brutal challenge fortifies your will. Every moment you choose to persist over surrender moves you one step closer to the life others only dream about. There is a violence to true persistence, a savage refusal to be denied. You must attack your goals with that same violent spirit. You must batter down every wall, tear apart every chain, shatter every excuse until there is nothing left between you and the life you demand. No gentleman ever won a great war. No passive soul ever built an empire. The universe yields to those who refuse to yield to it. The road will not clear itself for you. The path will not light itself for you. The battle will not stop simply because you are tired. But you can decide that no matter what you face, you will face it standing. You will face it fighting. Persistence against all odds means becoming a machine that grinds through resistance. It means moving forward even when the reward seems invisible, when the outcome seems uncertain, when the odds seem impossibly stacked against you. It means fighting with the heart of a warrior, the patience of a builder, the hunger of a champion. Those who persist are those who see the world bend to their will. Those who quit are forgotten. Every second you refuse to quit, you sharpen yourself into a weapon capable of cutting through any challenge. Every step you take forward under the crushing weight of difficulty is a step that weakens the grip of failure on your destiny. Faith in your ability is the spark that ignites every other power inside you. Without it, even the greatest talent lies dormant, buried under fear and doubt. Faith is not blind hope. It is an unbreakable certainty forged through decision, discipline, and desire. It is the inner roar that declares, "I will find a way or make one." Faith in yourself is the only weapon you need when the world turns its back on you, when the doubters circle, when the failures pile up. It is not given by others. It is not granted by circumstances. It is seized by the man who decides he will no longer wait for permission to be great. Faith is knowing that what lives inside you is stronger than anything you will ever face outside you. You must understand that no man is born a giant. Every legend you admire once stood where you stand, uncertain, unproven, underestimated. The difference was not fate, was not luck, was not magic. The difference was faith, the decision to believe in themselves before there was proof, the decision to bet everything on the power buried within them, the decision to silence every whisper of fear, every voice of doubt, and listen only to the call of destiny pounding in their chest. You are no different. You are no less capable. You are no less worthy. You have everything you need already planted inside you, but only faith will unlock it. Faith in your ability is what keeps you moving when logic says you should quit. It is what drives you to act when reason tries to convince you to wait. It is what pulls you out of the pit when the world tries to bury you. Without faith, small setbacks look like final defeats. Without faith, obstacles look like impossible walls. Without faith, criticism sounds like truth, and failure feels like identity. But with faith, 1,000 failures are nothing but stepping stones. With faith, rejection is just a redirection. With faith, you realize that the only limit on your future is the strength of your belief in your own power. You must cultivate faith the same way a warrior sharpens his blade, through daily discipline, through relentless action, through unshakable commitment. You must speak it into existence before the world recognizes it. You must act on it before there is evidence. You must move with confidence before success arrives. Faith is not waiting for the right conditions. It is declaring yourself ready now. It is seeing yourself as the champion before the trophy is handed to you. It is walking like a king even when you are still in chains. Faith is the battle cry of those who refuse to be ordinary. When you possess faith in your ability, you become dangerous. You are no longer controlled by the opinions of others. You are no longer shaken by the defeats that shatter weaker souls. You are no longer delayed by fear or distracted by failure. You move with a power the world cannot understand because you are driven by something deeper than circumstances. You see victory long before it arrives. You taste triumph long before the world hands it to you. You know beyond all doubt that the struggle, the suffering, the setbacks are merely the price of admission to the life you demand. Doubt is the enemy that must be hunted and destroyed before it infects your mind. Doubt starts as a whisper, a question, a small hesitation, but left unchecked, it grows into chains around your spirit. You cannot entertain doubt for a second. You cannot allow even the smallest crack in your faith. You must be ruthless in your belief. You must stamp out every thought that suggests you are anything less than destined for greatness. You must feed your faith daily with action, with vision, with relentless pursuit. You must protect your belief the way a soldier protects the last stronghold of a besieged city. Because once faith falls, everything else follows. Every action you take in faith strengthens the next. Every risk you take strengthens the next. Every battle you fight strengthens the next. You are either building your faith or you are destroying it. There is no neutral ground. Faith grows through struggle. It grows through persistence. It grows through pain. You must embrace the challenges, the failures, the rejections, because every time you push through them, your faith becomes harder to shake, harder to kill, harder to corrupt. Faith in your ability is not arrogance. It is the ultimate form of humility. It is the acknowledgement that you were gifted with something powerful, and you refuse to waste it. It is the decision to honor the potential buried inside you by fighting for it, bleeding for it, suffering for it. Faith is the bridge between the man you are and the man you are destined to become. Every step across that bridge demands trust in yourself when nothing around you seems certain. Every moment on that bridge demands courage when fear screams louder than hope. Every breath you take on that bridge demands commitment when comfort tries to pull you back. You have a fire inside you that will not be denied unless you allow it. You have a strength within you that will not collapse unless you abandon it. You have a destiny before you that will not be stolen unless you surrender it. Faith is the armor that guards your dreams. Faith is the engine that powers your action. Faith is the force that transforms mere desire into unshakable reality. The power of decision is the greatest weapon you will ever wield. Without the ability to decide swiftly, firmly, and finally, you are nothing more than driftwood carried by the tides of chance. Decision is the spark that sets destiny on fire. It is the force that transforms thought into action, vision into reality, desire into achievement. Weak men hesitate, they waver, they doubt, and they die with their dreams still trapped inside them. Strong men decide with authority and then bend the world to match their will. Every empire, every revolution, every triumph in history can be traced back to one moment when a man decided that he would no longer accept anything less than victory. Decision is the cutting off of all other possibilities. It is not a suggestion to yourself. It is not a trial run. It is a final order issued from the commander of your spirit. It demands the full force of your energy, your mind, your body, your heart. Until you decide with total commitment, you will remain a slave to circumstances. You will drift. You will doubt. You will stumble. But when you decide with ruthless finality, when you draw the line in the sand and declare that you will not retreat, you become a force that nothing can stop. Decisions must be made quickly, for hesitation is the death of dreams. Opportunities wait for no man. Indecision kills more ambitions than failure ever will. The truth is that most people do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because they refuse to decide. They wait for perfect conditions, for guaranteed success, for complete certainty, and in waiting, they forfeit their chance. Conditions will never be perfect. Success is never guaranteed. Certainty is an illusion. You must decide to move forward anyway. You must decide to act even in the face of fear, even in the absence of proof. You must decide that you would rather die chasing greatness than live safe inside mediocrity. Every second you hesitate, you lose ground to the enemy of doubt. Powerful decision is not about emotion, it is about command. It is about recognizing that the man who hesitates hands over his future to fear, to failure, to fate. The man who decides seizes his future with both hands and forces it into existence. Every time you delay a decision, you feed weakness. Every time you postpone action, you strengthen fear. Every time you waver, you weaken the walls of your own willpower. But every time you decide, every time you commit, every time you move forward with full force, you forge yourself into something harder, sharper, stronger. Decision transforms dreams into plans and plans into action. Without decision, dreams remain shadows. They remain silent wishes floating in the mind of a man too weak to seize them. With decision, those dreams become blueprints. They become battle plans. They become unshakable declarations of war against the life you refuse to live. You must decide exactly what you want. You must decide exactly who you will become. You must decide exactly what price you are willing to pay, and then you must decide every day to pay it without hesitation, without complaint, without excuse. Understand that decision is a skill, and like any skill, it is strengthened by use. You must practice decisive action every single day. You must train your mind to evaluate quickly, to commit fully, to act without looking back. Small decisions build the muscle for large ones. The man who cannot decide what time to rise cannot be trusted to decide the course of his life. Every small act of decision is a training ground for the larger battles that define your destiny. Decide to move, decide to fight, decide to endure, decide to win. You will not always make the perfect decision. That is irrelevant. Imperfect action beats perfect hesitation every time. The man who moves with decisiveness adjusts course as needed. The man who waits for the perfect plan never moves at all. You must develop the instinct to act, to charge, to strike when the window is open. Decision fuels momentum, and momentum destroys resistance. Most men never build momentum because they never decide to start. They die trapped in a web of what-ifs, of fears, of endless analysis. You will not be one of those men. decision must be final. It must be backed by the full power of your will. You must decide with the mentality that there is no turning back, that you will either succeed or die on the path. Half decisions, weak commitments, timid promises, these are the tools of the defeated. You must be all in. You must be willing to burn the ships behind you and advance with no thought of retreat. Every great conquest in history was born of such a decision, a point of no return that forced total commitment. The man who understands the power of decision knows he holds the keys to his own future. He knows that no force on earth can stop a mind made up. He knows that with each decision to move forward, to endure, to persist, he draws closer to a life of power, of purpose, of unstoppable achievement. Decide who you are. Decide what you will do. Decide how you will live. Then act with such ferocity, such intensity, such relentlessness, that the world has no choice but to bend in your direction. Resistance to fear and doubt is the shield that protects the mind of every man destined for greatness. Fear will come. Doubt will whisper. Resistance is your answer. Resistance is the inner fortress that refuses to collapse no matter how violent the storm. Fear is not the enemy. Surrender to fear is. Doubt is not the destroyer. Obedience to doubt is. A man who masters resistance is a man who can walk through fire without being burned. He does not beg for the absence of fear. He does not wait for doubt to disappear. He simply advances, armor raised, heart ablaze, spirit unbreakable. Fear is the natural reaction to stepping outside your comfort zone. It is the signal that you are on the path toward growth, not a warning to turn back. Doubt is the voice of the weak, the chorus of failures trying to drown out your roar. Resistance means standing firm against both. It means feeling the fear and still taking the first step. It means hearing the doubt and still charging forward. Resistance is the discipline to act when every emotion screams to freeze. It is the control to focus on the mission when the mind is flooded with uncertainty. You cannot destroy fear by wishing it away. You cannot eliminate doubt by hoping for it to vanish. You must face them, fight them, overcome them. You must lean into fear. You must walk through doubt. You must teach yourself day by day to act not because you are fearless, but because you have decided that fear will not rule your life. Fear and doubt thrive in hesitation. They grow stronger when you pause, when you second-guess, when you wait. But they shrink under the weight of decisive action. They wither when you move forward with conviction. Resistance is built by small victories. Every time you act in the presence of fear, you drive a blade into its heart. Every time you persist through doubt, you tighten your grip on your own destiny. Most people fold at the first sensation of fear. They bow to the first whisper of doubt. That is why most people live lives of quiet desperation, trapped in cages they built with their own hesitation. But you will not be most people. You will resist. You will stand. You will charge through the wall that stops lesser men cold. Understand that fear is not truth. Doubt is not reality. They are stories your mind tells to protect you from pain. They are lies dressed as warnings. They are parasites that feed on your potential. You owe them no loyalty. You owe them no attention. Your loyalty is to your mission. Your attention belongs to your goals. When fear rises, do not argue with it. Do not negotiate with it. Move anyway. When doubt creeps in, do not indulge it. Do not justify it. Starve it by acting with complete commitment. Every champion you have ever admired learned to resist fear and doubt. Every warrior who conquered learned to press forward when terror clawed at his mind. Every leader who changed the world felt the cold hands of doubt trying to choke him and tightened his grip instead. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not the absence of fear and doubt. It is the mastery of resistance. It is the refusal to give fear and doubt a vote in the decisions that shape their lives. You must make resistance your instinct. You must train yourself to move toward what you fear, to run toward what you doubt. Resistance must become automatic. The moment you feel fear, step forward. The moment you hear doubt, act stronger. Build the habit of defiance against the forces that seek to control you. Build the reflex of action against the voices that seek to paralyze you. Build the spirit of the fighter who charges into the battle knowing he may bleed, but refusing to retreat. Fear is loud, doubt is persistent, but the man who resists them long enough becomes deaf to their noise. He moves through them as if they are mist. He sees them for what they are, illusions without substance. Fear predicts disaster that almost never comes. Doubt forecasts failure that almost never materializes. Resistance tears away the veil and exposes the weakness behind their threats. You will never eliminate fear and doubt completely. That is not the goal. The goal is to render them powerless through relentless forward motion. You must understand that everything you want lies on the other side of resistance. The victories you dream about are guarded by the dragons of fear and doubt. But those dragons are made of smoke. They cannot stop you unless you bow to them. And you will not bow. You will resist. You will rise. You will advance while others retreat. You will endure while others collapse. You will build a life of strength, courage, and victory because you chose to fight the battle most men refuse to face. Resistance to fear and doubt is not a one-time act. It is a way of life. It is a decision you make every morning and every night. It is a commitment you renew every time the enemy tries to storm your gates. It is a declaration you shout into the darkness every time fear tries to whisper you back into safety. You are not here to live safe. You are not here to exist inside the small prison of comfort. You are here to conquer, to build, to create, to endure. Fear and doubt are the taxes you must pay for greatness, and you will pay them without complaint because the reward is a life that ordinary men will never taste. Daily mental conditioning is the iron discipline that forges a mind too strong to break, too sharp to dull, too focused to falter. The mind left unattended becomes weak, soft, and unreliable. It becomes a playground for fear, doubt, distraction, and defeat. But the mind that is trained daily becomes a weapon more powerful than any challenge it faces. Daily conditioning is the grind that strengthens your will, sharpens your focus, and fortifies your spirit until you become untouchable. It is not a suggestion. It is not optional. It is the price of entry into the arena of greatness. Your mind must be trained with the same ruthlessness and intensity as a warrior preparing for battle. You do not wait for the mind to be strong. You forge it through deliberate, relentless effort. Every day that you do not condition your mind is a day you grow weaker. Every day you skip the training of your thoughts is a day you allow weakness to creep in. Mental strength is not built by accident. It is built by daily rituals of focus, determination, and action. It is built by setting the tone of your mind every morning and reinforcing it every night. You must flood your mind daily with visions of your goals, with affirmations of your power, with reminders of your mission. You must program your mind for success before the world has a chance to program it for failure. You must build the reflex to think strong when others think weak, to see opportunity when others see obstacles, to feel certainty when others feel fear. Daily mental conditioning is about deliberately shaping the way you interpret every event, every setback, every victory. It is about choosing the lens through which you see the world and choosing strength every time. Daily conditioning requires ruthless honesty. You must face your weaknesses without excuse. You must attack your limitations without mercy. You must hunt down every excuse, every lie, every hidden fear, and expose it to the light. You must ask yourself every day, where am I weak? Where am I hesitating? Where am I allowing comfort to replace conquest? Only through daily examination and correction can you forge a mind that will not betray you when the pressure mounts. A weak mind seeks comfort. A strong mind seeks growth. Conditioning ensures you are always moving forward, never retreating. You must challenge your mind daily with problems that stretch you, with tasks that demand more focus, with goals that force greater commitment. Growth does not happen in ease, it happens in strain. Every day you must do something that demands more than you think you can give. Every day you must push the limits of what you believe is possible for you. This is the essence of conditioning, pushing past yesterday's limits so that today you stand stronger, sharper, more relentless than ever before. Comfort is the enemy. Challenge is the fuel. Pain is the proof that you are forging a new mind. Conditioning is not an event. It is a lifestyle. It is a daily contract with yourself that says, no matter how tired, No matter how discouraged, no matter how busy, you will train your mind today. You will feed it with strength today. You will push it to new heights today. Success is not achieved by grand gestures. It is built in the quiet moments of daily discipline, in the small choices no one sees, in the invisible battles against laziness and weakness that you win before the world ever sees your triumph. Your environment is either helping you condition your mind or helping you destroy it. You must be ruthless in controlling what you allow into your mind daily. What you read, what you listen to, who you surround yourself with, these are your mental diet. Feed your mind trash, and you will think like trash. Feed your mind greatness, and you will think like greatness. You must curate your inputs with the same intensity a warrior sharpens his sword. You must build an environment so saturated with strength, ambition, and victory that weakness finds no place to take root. Conditioning is about repetition. Repetition carves new pathways in the brain. Repetition builds new automatic responses. Repetition transforms conscious effort into unconscious power. You must repeat your affirmations daily until they are not just words, but beliefs. You must repeat your visualization of victory daily until it feels inevitable. You must repeat acts of courage daily until bravery becomes your nature. This is how you reprogram your mind for unstoppable success through relentless, disciplined repetition. Every day that you condition your mind, you separate yourself further from those who are too weak to do the work. Every day you build mental calluses that make you immune to the minor pains and temporary defeats that break ordinary men. Every day you strengthen the internal fortress that will protect your dreams when the storms come. Every day you move closer to becoming the person who no longer just talks about greatness but embodies it. There will be days when you do not feel like doing the work. Those are the most important days. There will be days when the mind screams for comfort. Those are the days you must train it to crave challenge. There will be days when the darkness feels heavier than the hope. Those are the days when conditioning your mind will be the difference between quitting and conquering. Daily mental conditioning is not glamorous. It is not easy. It is not always fun. But it is always necessary. The man who commits to daily mental conditioning builds an inner world so powerful that no external force can defeat him. He becomes the master of his fate because he has mastered his mind. He becomes a weapon sharpened daily for the battles that break ordinary souls. He becomes unstoppable not because life gets easier, but because he gets stronger. He does not hope for a better life. He creates it. He does not wait for strength. He becomes it. Daily mental conditioning is the price of victory, and he is willing to pay it every single day, without hesitation, without complaint, without fail. The man who masters his mind, who commands his will, who resists fear and doubt, who acts with decisive force, who conditions his strength daily, becomes unstoppable. He does not bend to the storms of life. He becomes the storm. He does not beg for opportunity. He creates it. He does not hope for greatness. He seizes it with blood, sweat, and relentless action. Understand now that you are not waiting for permission. You are not asking for strength. You are not seeking validation. You already possess within you everything required to forge a mind so powerful that no hardship, no rejection, no failure can break it. Your mission is simple. Decide who you will become. Condition your mind daily with ruthless discipline. Resist every fear that seeks to chain you. Act with boldness when others hesitate, persist when others collapse, and never for a single second allow weakness to live inside you. From this moment forward, you are done living like the masses. From this moment forward, you rise into the rare air of those who refuse to be ordinary. From this moment forward, you do not hope for mental toughness. You build it, you earn it, you live it. You embody it until the world has no choice but to move aside or be crushed by the force of your will.